Okay, well, let's talk about networking and why it's so important and what we can do to get there and be the person who has influence in the community to get the work. We'll use me as an example. I absolutely hate networking. I think it's probably the worst thing I have to do in my job, but I do it now, and with a few techniques that we're going to talk about, it will also help you, if you feel the same way, make it to where it's more enjoyable and more productive for when you go out to the events. When I started doing the networking about 2 years ago, I didn't know anybody. I was terrified. I didn't know how to get involved and how to get into a room where I actually knew somebody. They felt like all strangers to me, and I didn't know how to get started. Simple technique we learned was to figure out how many people I wanted to meet when I got into that room. We called them strategic alliances. And I go in and try to find 2 good people and set up a meeting outside the networking event to learn more about their company. When I first started, I was meeting with everybody that just got it. I would go in, I would ask them a couple questions. What did they do? How long have they been doing it? And what was a good referral for them? If they asked me the same things back, I qualified them as a good contact. We would set up a meeting, I would learn about their business, they would learn about mine, and in the process of this meeting, I would give them something that would help them identify people that would be a good referral for me. Let's face it, in our industry, people have no clue what we do half the time, and if they do know what we do, they don't know how to refer us work. So I spelled it all out for them. I said, here are the 10 people I'm looking to meet, here's how to introduce me. And they just thought it was fantastic. The part that you have to understand though is you're not going to get the people to refer to you until you start referring to them. So you ask them to make the same list. Give them yours as a template. Email your Word file of the top 10 list. Help them create that same thing so you can send them the information they need. You'll be surprised how many people actually send it to you, but how well you are perceived that you're trying to help them. From there, you just start meeting more and more people. It just kind of blossoms into this big tree with all these branches. You're meeting these people here, you're meeting these people here, and you just start to get to know everybody fairly quickly with that process. When I started, I was probably doing 2 to 4 meetings a week, coffee meetings, so they didn't take up a lot of time, 15 minutes apiece. I timed them so we didn't go over, made it so it was respectful for each of our time clocks, and just really got to know everybody. So from starting from that to where I am now, I'm happy to gloat a little bit that I'm now on the chamber board, the chamber executive board. I chair a committee and I'm on a council, an elected position on a council. I'm also on another board that is a marketing group for architecture, engineering communities, and I'm involved with a lot of other organizations. Some people have come up to me and said, how are you everywhere? They feel like I'm everywhere, even though I'm really not. They feel like I'm the person they need to come to when they want to go somewhere or meet somebody. So how do we get you to that point? Well, we can start by looking at some of the places you can get involved. Some of the places that are common that a lot of people in our industry discount: Chamber of Commerce's or the Economic Development Councils. It is a great way to get to know broad members of your community. Now, some people have said to me, well, why would I want to go and meet a banker or a marketing person at the chamber? Well, you don't know who the banker or the marketing person knows. Just the other day, I got an email from a banker who deals in very small accounts and said, hey, I really want to set you up with our commercial banker. He deals with all the developers and the commercial builders. Great, let's have lunch. So there's other places too to get a little more targeted. Urban Land Institute, NAIOP, International Council of Shopping Centers. It's more of the people in our industry, but there's also a lot more competition. A lot of the times you go to the chamber or the economic development groups, you're the only AEC professional in the room. People get to know you and they start to say, hey, you need design work, you need architecture. Hey, I know the person who can do it, because you're the only one there. You can get involved in service organizations, groups that are complementary to what you do, somebody that's marketing to the same people you do. There's lots of industries out there that market to the same people that we might market to, but they sell completely different things. I mean, everybody needs office supplies, everybody needs copiers, everybody needs insurance. Don't discount those people because you think they may not fit into what we do. You would be surprised how many referrals I get from a copier salesman. And public service. nonprofits, local charitable organizations. Huge place to get involved because you're giving back, so you get to feel good about what you're doing, but you also get to meet all the other people in companies and CEOs that are also doing the same thing and have the same values. I have a friend that I've met through meetings that she's on the school board, and she blatantly has told me if she doesn't know you from networking events, you don't get the job. Plain and simple. If you're not showing your face around the community, no job for you. So what do you think all the general contractors do that want to build schools now? They're out at all the events the school board's at. So it's not as hard as you think it can be. Go to the meetings, have your plan in place. I have a family, I go for maybe a half an hour to an hour. That's how long it takes me to meet my 2 strategic alliances, and I go home for the night. I do not spend all night there, and you don't have to either. Make this easy and make yourself the everywhere person.